Close your eyes and imagine that you are lying on the sand, feeling the pleasant warmth of the morning sun. The surf is murmuring nearby. Opening your eyes, you see a swaying palm tree above. Around you, the azure sea. Sunbeams are playfully dancing on the wreckage of the ship. Stop! Where are we? Welcome to a role-playing adventure. Our mission: survive on a deserted island after a shipwreck. So, we are on a deserted island. The first thing we need to do is decide what to tackle first. Think about what needs to be done first, what second, and so on. First, collect anything that looks useful from the wreckage of the ship. Next, calm down and make sure that there will be no flooding at the chosen camping place. Then make a fire. After that, find a source of drinking water. Then find or build a shelter. Next, look for food. To keep your spirits up, find some fun activities. Finally, come back home. The very first thing to do is examine the wreckage. Otherwise, it will be quickly carried out to the sea. Don't be picky. What seems like a pile of rubbish in the city center can be a lifesaver on a deserted island. Let's find a barrel. Plastic bag. Another plastic bag. Construction nut. Plastic box. Another plastic box. Chocolate. Aluminum can. Threads. Safety pin. Signal mirror. How to ensure your camping place won't flood. Imagine this. You've chosen a perfect camping spot, but if it's not safe from flooding, all your collected treasures, the plastic bags, the nuts, and everything else, could be swept away by the tide. You might even end up floating away with them. To prevent this, you need to determine how far the water flows at high tide. Look for markers or natural indicators and place them at points 1, 2, and 3 to mark the water's highest reach. Good job! Fire is extremely useful. It can dry clothes, cook food, and provide warmth and comfort. It also helps to calm nerves in a survival situation. But how do we put it out if we don't have much to work with? Consider the 2 items you have for lighting a fire. Choose carefully. How to start a fire using an aluminum can and chocolate. 1. Rub the bottom of the can with chocolate to make the surface smoother and shinier. After all, the concave bottom of the can is a lens, albeit a poor one. 2. Catch a ray of sunlight with the bottom of the can and reflect it onto a bunch of dry grass, thin twigs, and pieces of bark. Be prepared to wait a while, as the bottom of the can doesn't focus sunlight very well. 3. When the fire finally catches, add thicker logs. Your bonfire is ready. How to find a source of drinking water? You can survive without water for 3 to 4 days and without food for up to 2 weeks. So finding water is more urgent. If you're lucky, you'll find a spring. But if not, the ocean water is salty. Drinking it will only make you thirstier. Choose 6 items to help you get fresh water. From these 6 items, you can make 2 desalination devices with different operating principles. Both methods work only if it's scorching hot. Luckily, we're on a tropical island, so that's not a problem. How to get water using bags, boxes, threads, and a nut. The first method is to hang a bag on a tree branch. On a hot day, the leaves will release moisture, which will be collected in the bag as pure drinking water. Each bag can provide you with up to 1 teaspoon of water daily. The second method is to take a large plastic box and fill it with salty or dirty water. Place a smaller box inside the larger one. Seal the top of this setup with plastic film, secured by wrapping it with thread. Place a small stone in the center of the plastic film so that the condensed water drips into the small box instead of back into the untreated water. This setup can provide you with up to 1 cup of water daily. How to choose a place for shelter. Choosing the right place for a shelter is crucial for your survival. Here are your options. Number 1. Build a shelter as close as possible to the shore so you can see the sea well and not miss a passing ship. Number 2. Build a shelter on a rock or a hill, but in a place protected from the wind. Number 3. Build a shelter as high as possible to protect yourself from the tide and have a clear view of the sea in case a ship sails past. Now, which place is better? A storm can sweep away a shelter near the water. A strong wind can blow away a shelter on the top of a cliff, and it's also hard to go down to get water and food. A hill with a rock cover is best. Even better if there is a cave there. You also need to check around to see if there is a coconut tree above. More people die each year from falling coconuts than from shark bites. How to build a shelter. Find 3 types of building materials to build a hut and make a basic alarm that will warn of approaching predators. You can make a hut from palm leaves, lianas, and branches, and if you surround the camping place with dry branches, they will crack if a sneaking predator steps on them. How to find food. We are on a deserted island, not in a diner, so we have to examine everything available. And the picky ones will go hungry. Find something that you can eat, or locate a place where you can search for more food. Delicious cockroach! The root of the cassava plant is edible, but you must cook it to prevent cyanide poisoning. Yummy! Great coconuts. Too bad they don't grow very fast. A sea turtle has buried her eggs here. Unless you're starving, it's best not to touch them. The sea is the most reliable source of food on a small island. Yummy! How to make a fishing rod. On a small island, fish is the most reliable source of food. And to catch it, we need a fishing rod. A sturdy branch for the handle can be found on the island. But other stuff we will do from salvages. Choose 3 items to make a fishing rod. Good job! How to not be poisoned by fish. Find the edible fish. Spiny dogfish is an edible commercial shark. Although there are poisonous spikes on its dorsal fins, most wounds occur when pulling a catch from the net. The fisherman gets a severe burn, accompanied by prolonged pain. The poison of the spiny dogfish is not fatal, but the wound will ache for several days. Porcupine fish swell up in case of danger. Usually, it looks like all other fish. Even the spines are pressed and not too noticeable. Almost all the insides of porcupine fish are filled with the nerve poison tetrodotoxin. For humans, a dose of 1 milligram of this poison is lethal. However, in Japan, porcupine fish is a delicacy. It is almost impossible to neutralize the poison, but you can carefully remove the internal organs, especially the liver, where there is a lot of poison. The poison is also contained in the filler and causes numbness in the entire body, but this is not fatal. You can eat surgeon fish. However, on the sides of its body, next to its tail, there are small but poisonous spike blades. If it is unsuccessfully grabbed, the cut can be very unpleasant. If this happens, you need to wash the wound with very hot water. Under the influence of temperature, the poison is destroyed. Zebra fish in their chic fans hide needles filled with poison. The poison is very strong, causes hellish pain, and can lead to death. Zebrafish are edible. The scorpionfish have about 20 poisonous spines. Scorpionfish are well camouflaged, so they can be touched by accident. In this case, a poor fellow is provided with pain shock, low blood pressure, and numbness for several days. But you can eat the scorpionfish. It is very tasty. Triggerfish teeth are adapted for cracking and biting sea urchin shells, mollusk shells, etc. Protecting the laid eggs, triggerfish can behave aggressively and inflict quite noticeable bites on divers. The greater weaver is usually hiding or disguised, so it can be stumbled upon by accident. If this happens, the greater weaver attacks viciously and stabs with poisonous spikes located in the dorsal fin and gills. There is a sharp burning pain, accompanied by swelling and convulsions. If the spikes are removed, the greater weaver is edible and tasty. Oyster toadfish hide poisonous spikes in the dorsal fin. The sensations from the injection are unpleasant, but the poison is not fatal, and the fish warns of its presence. It gnashes, grumbles, or buzzes. Sounds are emitted to warn that a given section of the bottom is occupied. Near the fish, these sounds sometimes have a strength of over 100 decibels, reaching an intensity that is painful for the ear. If nothing bothered you and you decided to eat this fish, no matter what, it is edible. The stonefish perfectly disguises itself as sea stones. Stepping on a stone with a surprise, a person receives an injection in 12 poisonous syringes of the dorsal fin. The pain is so strong that the person is ready to cut off the leg. The only good thing is that the suffering will not be long. Death occurs in 2 to 4 hours. But if you don't bump into the spikes, you can eat the fish. Its meat is considered a delicacy. The stingray has a habit of camouflaging itself by burrowing into the sand. If stepped on, the stingray arches and strikes with a hefty poisonous spike located in the middle of the tail. The venom is usually not fatal. However, one day, one of the stingrays struck right in the heart of the unlucky naturalist Steve Irwin, who died instantly. The meat of stingrays is edible. Flying fish, the only one in this company that does not bite, does not prick, and does not poison you. Edible if you can catch it. How to avoid the stonefish? The stonefish is very tricky. Not only is it almost the most poisonous fish in the world and you can't step on it, but it is hiding well, too. Find 7 stonefish hidden in the coral reefs. How to find fun activities to keep your spirit up? You might wonder, what is the point of the seashell determinant? It is useful for more than just survival. After you have secured the essentials, water, shelter, food, you also need something to enjoy. This is vital for your well-being. A hobby can keep you in a positive mood and thus healthy. Since you are on a tropical island with a beautiful sandy beach, you can do what our ancestors did for fun thousands of years ago. Collect and sort shells. Match each shell with the correct identifier card. Ecatina architectonica. Babylonia. Vasum turbinellus. Haronia tritonis. Cockle. Conus radiatus. Symbiola vespertilio. Cypraea moneta. Dentalium. Drusilla cornus. Mitra sangitsuga. Nerita. Lapana. Scallop. Spondylus. Strumbus canarium. Venus clam. Strumbus ursus. Terebra. Turbochrysostomus. Umbonium. How to come back home? We have the last unused salvage, a mysterious mirror with a hole in the center. This is a kind of ticket home. No matter how uninhabited the island is, ships or planes can pass from time to time, but far away, for they notice us. You need such a mirror. It is also called a beacon mirror or heliograph. You can, of course, kindle a fire from green leaves that blow up dense smoke, or to build gigantic figures, for they will be seen from afar and not look like a natural phenomenon. You can even hide a note in a plastic container and send it sailing on the ocean, hoping for good luck. But the sunbeam is the fastest and most distant signal of all. The operating principle of the signal mirror is simple. Since the ship or plane will be far away, the challenge is to hit solar reflection into the right spot. To do this, you need to look in the mirror and combine the hole in it and the light spot it casts on your face. Then the beam can be aimed at 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers, or further. This will be enough to reach even an airplane in the sky. And here it is, the long-awaited return. Or maybe you like to stay on the island. Now it is up to you.